Oops, microphone's on. Sorry, my bad. Just getting a stretch in. Didn't realize I had it on yet. You know, it is a hobby stream, so that's how it's gonna be sometimes. Yeah, we're gonna get about an hour of football tactics and glory in right now before I run out and do my errands. It is Saturday, the weekend. It's when I normally beta test for this game. So we're gonna go ahead and do that now. Again, it's pretty casual. It's a work in progress game, so things are subject to change. Creo Team allows us to present the gameplay and whatnot as long as we kind of mention that. We don't mind it. And then they do check the videos for like bugs and stuff like that, so I'll also be like pointing out clear issues to the dev team because I know they do look at it. So occasionally you'll hear me like mention a specific bug. It might not make sense to you, but there's a reason for it, right? So since it's pretty casual, I'm just going to continue my campaign in progress. I am using Scotland, testing out their bonus. It's been working pretty well for me so far. You know, it's a pretty interesting bonus, planning ahead. Gain a huge boost to passing if you can hold the ball for a turn. And it's just for that that next turn. That's a really good playmaking ability, I think. I know Creo Team does have a few other football cultures in the pipeline. I think someone mentioned Romania the other day, something about an accuracy bonus, so they are thinking about those as well. You know, they do have their priorities too, so, you know, we may get bonuses soon, more bonuses soon, we may not. I'm also kind of waiting for that, and I'll probably start another campaign. I'm going from the bottom to the top. Ideally, I would play this until I start coaching a national team. Just because I know they'd like us to... Give me 1 second. Yeah, just because I know they'd like us to go through the entire experience, you know, from the amateur league all the way to the top. Like, they're personally testing the national team and stuff, so they don't need specific tests for that. But actually to see how players go from the bottom to the top with various campaign settings would be useful to them. That's what I'm focused on, right? So we're going to kind of play through what we have here. I'll kind of mention what's going on. I'll point out some of the new things as you'd expect. In the club upgrade screen, a lot of it's going to be similar, or familiar rather. We do have a few new things that weren't in the previous iteration of the game. You know, now we have actual scouting, hiring agents, and international agent network, which is based on your scout center development. So you can see the average level of my scouts is still 0 because I haven't had a chance to get to at least 1. And then you have hiring agents, which will be influenced by your scouting infrastructure. And you have an international agent network, which will also be influenced by your scouting infrastructure. You can also do short-term hires. So for example, in this game, we now have information that's hidden from match to match. So for example, I can't see this team's information because I don't have enough, I don't have a scouting network that's developed fully enough to actually see it. So you're going to see a lot of these players who are above 0 giftedness, they're going to be unknowns. What I could do is I could invest in my scouting infrastructure and I'd be able to see some players based on the level of my scouts. I could also do short-term hires to see additional information, so you can see all the way up to 5 stars. Obviously, as you see more and more information, it's going to become more expensive. And you can also set various durations. You can go all the way up to a year. You know, of course, you get a discount for longer hires, but of course it's going to cost more upfront. So in general, I think the way to play this is going to be actually leveling up your scouting infrastructure. If you've played Manager's Journey or any of the previous games, you'll know that the scouting infrastructure, the scouting center, is not very popular because it doesn't give you immediate gains like the training grounds or a potentially great player like the youth academy. That's probably one of the less popular options. Medical center is probably at the bottom because people don't really consider injuries all that much, which is its own issue. But yeah, but this is going to make the scouting center more attractive, hopefully. just because this is information that you'll need. And I know I've seen people mention that you can just like take notes yourself outside of the game, like get a notepad and write all that stuff down. You could do that, absolutely, but that information is also going to be outdated. Because you have to remember that opposing players and teams do grow. So, for example, I have this team's information today. I could take a screenshot and save it in a log or something, and I could play them like in a couple of months, and they could be completely different. You know, these guys may have gotten multiple levels, they may have gotten new levels and skills. So it's not really a foolproof method of circumventing the system. You know, the whole point is to kind of force you to consider the whole scouting part of the game, because this is a management game at the end of the day. It's a nice mix between tactical gameplay and management, but it is more of a management game, so you do have to interact with those pieces too. In terms of the match, I also have an option that allows me to hide the opposing formation. And I've been playing this game for so long that it's really easy to win on this screen, where you basically know what the opponent's going to do, and you counter every action that they can take. So this option kind of gives those of us who have kind of mastered the system more of a challenge. You know, I'm still looking at the formations. I still have a good idea of where these players are going to be placed on the field, but I don't know exactly where they're going to be, and that kind of forces me to be a bit more flexible with my formation. For example, if you look at their front three, they have a player with nutmeg. I'm going to be playing a pretty sparse back three because I'm trying to play more of a high pressing line this campaign. So this is going to change based on where that CF is. So I need it to be flexible enough to be able to account for the CF with nutmeg, while also taking into account the fact that I'm not going to be able to cover everything. And the same is going to be true for the midfield. I see this player with fly tackle. I know that central midfielders are going to be in this general area, like right here, and the center here. So I know he's going to be somewhere there, so I'm going to want to take that into consideration when it comes to holding the ball. And then, of course, I can see what they're playing at the back. I see they have 3 CDs and a D. So I know that dribbling into the box might be a bit more difficult, but I know getting a shot on goal is going to be much easier because they don't really have a lot of players that can intercept. And then, of course, new to this game is the ability to loan players. You can receive loan players. For example, I have Good Willie over here with a player from Greenock FC. So I can actually see that team's information. I can see him. I can see his career and all of that stuff. And I'll have him for a loan period of 6 months. And I'll kind of act like a player for my team. He'll gain experience. He'll gain specialization points. I'll gain glory every time he's used and every time he improves. So that's kind of an incentive for me to actually use him. And then he'll be contributing to my team's success as well. And you can also loan out your own players. You can see I've loaned out 2 players to this team. Bear in mind that the opposing team won't always use them. You know, the opposing coach does have his own agenda, so it won't always match up with what you want. For example, I sent these guys to Renton FC. I did that because Atkins had a really good stint over there. If you check his career, you know, I sent him over there for a couple of loan periods ago, and he got 27 matches total with them. So based on that, I figured I'd send my other guys to them as well, but they're also not doing very well if you check the table. You can see Renton at the bottom of the pack. They've lost every single match. So the coach is probably playing for development now. They're expecting to get relegated back to the 3rd league. And due to that, they've kind of taken my guys and put them on the back burner, because these guys can't help them. They can't help the Renton FC progress. They're pretty much guaranteed to get relegated. So it doesn't really make sense to train another team's players. It makes more sense to build up your own team in preparation for the next season, which is what they're doing. So you can get situations like that. You know, sometimes it can be a gamble. You also have the ability to send players to a lower league where they're more likely to be used. For example, I could have sent those guys to like the amateur league, and then maybe one of these teams could have really benefited from them. But it costs more glory to do that because you have to convince your players to go. There's a bit of a mini game there as well. A lot of cool new things if you just care about the managerial side of it. Obviously, if you care about the tactical side of it, the tactical gameplay is, I guess it's the potatoes. You know, they normally say something's the meat and potatoes of a concept. And I would say the strategy layer is the meat, and the tactical gameplay at the tactical level of the potatoes. you can't really have a full meal unless you have both. So it's not like you can be sustained on one. I guess you could do like a simulations only, because this game does allow you to just simulate matches, but the tactical layer also has a lot of nice things as well that have been added. You know, footballing cultures and a lot of different changes to the skills and potential levels and stuff like that. Yeah, but we're actually going to play a few matches. You know, it's a stream. You know, I'm trying to get information out there, so I'll be kind of slower than I normally would be. You know, if I was playing this offline, I would have probably finished this match by now, but the whole goal of this is to share information, you know, with the fans of the game. I do think it's due out for early access at some point this year. I think Creo Team might be aiming for fall at this point. You know, stuff going on over there kind of impacts their timelines, but they're still working on the game, still actively updating it and whatnot. So I think we're due for early access. And they did do early access initially with Football Tactics and Glory. You know, I think they were happy with it, with the turnout in terms of the support and the feedback that they got. So I think they're considering it again. Yeah, but let's get this match going, you know? We can talk all day. They have a 4-3-3. The defense isn't that strong. Again, Renton's a pretty weak team, but they're the home team, so I need to be aware of that. Let's see if I can... thinking about it. I might use this opportunity to train up my players. I'd also like to win. You know, I'm also at risk of relegation if I don't keep it together. You know, I'm right here. Brilliant FC is not that far behind me, so I need to be careful. So I might play for training. This might be a training game where I'm just trying to get my players to get better, but I'm also going to wait until the second half to really lock in there. So let's see. I guess we can keep you. I guess we'll play it like this. Hansen over there. Hansen is probably training and passing right now. I'm probably going to get him like 25 passing or so, and then I'm just going to focus on probably control at that point. Because he's Scottish, you know, he doesn't need a lot of passing to be effective, which is a great thing about Scottish players. Okay, let's see, he's got that. I'm just kind of looking things through here. We're going to take Atkins out for now because he's getting tired. I would love to play Clark, but I don't know, maybe later. We're going to keep him in as well. We're probably going to play it on the left-hand side too. They only have CDs, so maybe I'll do that. They also have a D, so maybe I'll attack with Donahue from the side. We'll keep Hawni there for later. We'll keep Kelman there too. Their goalkeeper is not great, but then I might need to pass it into the box, so we'll see. We'll start with Goodwillie and we'll go for Kelman later. In case I want to play it into the box, Goodwillie makes more sense. But in case I want to actually shoot the ball from a distance, Kelman makes more sense. So it really depends. We'll start with this because I do have a play. I do have a plan. And then we'll move forward. Let's get the game started. Renton gets the ball first. I do like the purple and yellow. That's very nice. Of course, you can customize all these different uniforms. I'm not a huge customization guy, but this game probably has more customization than I've ever seen in a sports game, or at least a small sports game. Like, you can customize pretty much everything about the team, and most of it has a huge impact. Like, the uniforms look pretty good. You can even do like the scaling of the faces and stuff if you really want to. So if you're familiar with stuff like FIFA and whatnot, you can actually do all that stuff where you change the height of the nose and the eyebrow depth and stuff like that. I've never cared about that stuff, but I know some people do. That's pretty cool. Yeah, but we won the ball. We also got fouled, so I think we're in a free kick position here. We're going to pass it off to the right. You know, what I tend to do is I tend to look at the formation to see how things are looking. You can see this is the formation they're using. They have nutmeg in the center, so it's not a huge deal. Let's see, they also have their CM with slide tackle on that side, which is why I played a wide formation, so I can play it to either wing. And then they have the standard T formation with the CDs. They have a CD in the box, they have a D right here. D is going to be able to intercept shots in these towels, so I'll probably want to block that off here with the Lindsay, who can run into the box. Yeah, we're going to hold it with Hansen. They still might go for the slide tackle. They have a tendency to move their slide tackling players over sometimes. I'm going to go ahead and get him into the box and prepare for the next play. I'm going to play it into the box with good Willie if I can. You can see he's going for the slide tackle. He gets 2 towel movement because he's in the center of the field. That was expected. That's fine. And then he's at CM, so he gets to press for free. You know, he missed the slide tackle because it's just level 1. I'm going to see if I can play the ball into the box here. Good Willie's going to play it. You can see that because he's an AM, he's going to reduce the defense of this player. I think it's so low right now that it's considered to be guaranteed, if I'm not mistaken. So it says he's weak. It should be 8. Not sure why it's so why it's saying weak. That might be a bug. Let's see. I'm gonna check it. Also got a message. Give me a second. A lot of stuff going on. Got to be fluid. Okay, it's nothing. Yeah, but it should be 8 defense. So message to Kaz and Creo team. This might be a bug. I don't think it's low enough to be considered weak. You know, it should be 21 to 8. So it should be 40 versus 8 here. So maybe that's a bug. But I'm gonna pass it through. Pass it through to Lindsay. He does have reaction, so I'm not going to be able to use Rainbow Feint, but I do have the opportunity to shoot on goal. I could also get a potentially decent corner opportunity. So instead of using Precision Shot, I'm going to use Power Shot, even though Precision Shot gives me a higher chance to score. There's also something worth mentioning when we talk about the dice roll that happened in this game. If you're familiar with the game, you know there are various RNG systems that you can use. You have like the standard system, which is a 1 to the limit roll. So for example, if I'm shooting with 48 accuracy, I have a chance to roll from 1 to 48. You also have the expected roll, which is like a slight boost to it. You know, players tend to expect the rolls to roll in their favor because of confirmation bias. So that nudges it a little bit. You also have like a decreased RNG roll, where basically you're less likely to roll poorly if your player is good. So I'm using that option, where this guy is a level 1 giftedness player, so he can never roll 1. He'll always roll at least 10% of his maximum value. And it can go all the way up to like, the floor can go all the way up to being 60% of that value. So if I'm giftedness level 5, I can never roll below 60% of my potential value. So a lot of the time it makes sense to take that into consideration. He's a 0 giftedness player, so even though he has 72, he has a 47 right now and 72 if I use a power shot, he has the ability to roll a 1. But then I'll never roll a 1. I think the lowest I can roll is like a 5 because it's 10%, which still isn't great, but that's also worth considering. So if we both roll poorly, I have a better chance to come out on top because of his giftedness. Yeah, that's a huge deal in this game in particular, because we do have that new option that allows us to actually have a dynamic floor based on the player's giftedness. So like a stronger nation, a stronger footballing nation that has better players is going to have a much higher floor. So they're going to be much less likely to roll poorly. So if you think about guys like maybe Lionel Messi and those top players, they rarely make like rudimentary mistakes, so they're not going to be rolling like 1s on the dice, which is pretty cool to see. But you know, when I take opportunities, I tend to think about the potential failure. If the precision shot fails, I'm going to lose possession. If the power shot fails, I potentially get another shot on goal, so I'm going to take that. You know, I got another attack, more or less, because now we have to win the ball, which is okay. I would have liked the corner, but that also works. But that's the same situation where he would have gotten possession. You know, it's a slightly worse chance on goal, but it is a slightly greater chance at a better opportunity, so I went ahead and took it. I'm going to see if I can win the ball with Hansen. I think he's also Scottish, so he's going to get the potential boost to passing. I'm also going to play for the offside trap right now. Generally, I like to do that because there's not a guarantee that I'll win the ball or stop them from actually progressing. So I kind of set my defense up to start. I'm going to go ahead and at least press just to reduce his passing a little bit. It's not going to be a whole lot because I think he's going to have like, let me see, that, just doing the math, he's going to have 30 passing reduced by 15 for pressing, so he's going to have 15 passing if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 15 passing. There you go. sometimes math is useful. You know, it's still a board game at the end of the day, right? If you played a lot of tabletop games, that becomes second nature. And the nice thing about that is now I get another opportunity on goal. You know, I reduced his passing. He was going to lob it because they're trying to attack, obviously, so he probably wanted to lob it to the front. He tried, we fought for it in the air and knocked it back. You know, our AM can actually play it directly into the box again because he's still on side. You know, we're going to have the chance right there. And let's see, I'm not sure why it shows weak. Maybe that's just how it goes now, because he did roll a 3. And again, this is the last play of the half. I could go for a precision shot, but again, I would like a potential option or opportunity to score afterwards. And then, you know, he can always roll a 1. I'll never roll anything higher than a 5, so even then. Yeah, 47, that's all right. Because the thing is, 47 is still pretty high. That's still in range of for a precision shot. So the thing is, if I roll low, like a situation that just occurred where I rolled below him, he's guaranteed to hold the ball if it's a precision shot. When it bounces off of him, he might knock it out of bounds, and then I have another opportunity on goal where I can set up like a header, or I can set up another direct shot or something. So generally, I'll go for the power shot when it's a one-on-one situation. I tend to do precision shots when I have some type of resistance, you know? So if it's like a... Let me think about it. If it's like a, what's the word? If it's like a... I'm just thinking right now. If it's shooting through a defender... If you're shooting through at least one defender, I'll use precision shot, right? But if I'm shooting directly on goal, it's usually a power shot. And I mean, there's no right or wrong way to do it. Sometimes it makes sense to do the precision shot. You know, if you really want to score right now, it really just depends. Yeah, but we're gonna set up for another attack. We're gonna do the fullback. We're gonna do the fullback because we're gonna try to hold the ball. Fullbacks are a natural counter to slide tackle at all levels of play because fullbacks decrease the potential role of the skills for opposing players. So it's really good, especially if you're defending against slide tackle. If you have like a low level skill, like a level 1 long pass, it's also very good because it makes it much easier to succeed. You know, you don't get as many rolls on things like that. So offensive fullbacks can be really useful, which is why I like to have them on my team. So right now I'm going to hold it with this guy because he's a forward playing defender who has decent passing. He also has solid control, so I think I'll be able to keep the ball. And we're going to set up for a shot from the side with Donahue over here, and that's going to be the play. We're going to leave Hammerich in just because I'd like to keep the defense. If we can score a goal, I'm going to make a sub as well and get some other guys in for training purposes. Let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to go ahead and start the second half. And we're going to go ahead and pass to Magrace. We're going to get Lindsay into the box. And we're not going to pass to Lindsay. We're going to attack with Donahue, which is our second option. And then we're going to hold the ball with him, right? 44 control is good. He's probably going to slide. It's reduced to 1 because of the fullback suppressing him. And now they're kind of stuck. There's not a whole lot they can do. Right. Again, fullbacks are great supporting classes. You know, they're generally played back here. And then in these cases, they'll be really good at suppressing the attackers. If you have something like a cannon shot user and you don't have a goalkeeper who has a strong goalkeeper, fullbacks can be really good against them. If they have nutmeg and you're worried about someone nutmegging through your line on the edge, they can also be good for that and all sorts of different things. Yeah, but that was the play that I wanted because now I'm going to do this. I'm going to pass to Donahue. Donahue's actually going to shoot it from the wing. The weakness of having CDs on the wing like this is the fact that they can't block adjacent towels. So the D would have been the guy to block that towel. Lindsay's blocking it off now. So I get a direct shot on goal. And I'm going to take the power shot for similar reasons I mentioned before. You know, Lindsay got the ball, so it's forcing the goalkeeper to make another roll. And that's kind of what you want. You want the goalkeeper to roll as often as possible, even if the roll is in his favor, because remember, there's always a chance for him to roll poorly. And he really just needs to roll poorly once, really. That's how it tends to work out. So whether or not he rolls poorly on the shot block, whether or not he rolls poorly on the tackle, you want him rolling as often as possible, because eventually he will fail, and then when that happens, it's in your favor, you know? Let's go ahead and do this. I'm gonna attack with Hansen, I think, just to get Hansen in there. And we are kind of high pressing. We're kind of keeping the ball over here. Yeah, he's gonna try to lob it. That's a given. Try to get it to the front. Is he gonna hold it though? He's probably gonna hold it. That's smart. So now we need to win this ball. He has 19 control, which is an amazing. We do have an AM with solid defense. He'll be attacking from behind though. That's not bad. They do have a CM though. He has 10 defense, which is an amazing. So if I hold the ball, let's see, 21 defense over there. It might make sense to lob it over there because it's going to fall somewhere in this vicinity. He got the ball, it's fine. They're going to take it back, but I do have Allardyce over here. So I might be able to get a shot. Yeah, well, full time, I guess. That would have been the play. The unfortunate thing is that I didn't get any training in. Their goalkeeper did make 2 good saves at least. It says 5 shots, but he actually had to attack the ball like 3 shots. He had to defend it 5 times. Yeah, so we had them under pressure. Couldn't get the win. That's also their first point. I was kind of looking for at least 1 goal there. The goalkeeper did do a good job by keeping it in play. There were about 3 or 4 different times where it could have gone out and he kept it in. You know, you have to give him credit for that for sure. It is actually pretty tough to keep it in a lot of the time, but we did get some experience. Goodwillie got some points. Hansen also got some points. Yeah, everybody's getting some points there. And then we got some specialization levels as well, which is always good. Henderson's older, so what I tend to do in these situations is I tend to focus on dedication. It's either dedication or stamina or fan favorite, because by now he's too old to really learn a skill. Dedication is going to be good to get him a last couple of levels. So I'll probably do that and I'll fill it out to get another 5. And he's a CD, so I don't think he'll be, he shouldn't be active all that often. He's also 32 though. He's one of my core members of my defense, so I need to train up new CDs. Let's see. We got McNee. McNee's really good, and I'm happy with McNee. For him in particular, you would think I would go talent first, but he still has a year to go before he can learn another level. So I think for him it makes more sense to go for dedication, and then when he gets closer to completing this skill, I'll do talent, at least level 1 talent, to get that level 3 threshold there. And then from there it really depends. It depends on what I want to use him for. You know, he does have long pass that's going to be useful. He's also a universal midfielder. They can pretty much play anywhere. He has okay accuracy. I would have to spec into accuracy a bit more. But the fact that he has long pass kind of makes me think that he doesn't need as much control. Maybe you can play like a front-facing role where he's on the 4th line or something, and he's playing it into the box, he's crossing it, he's long passing it, and all that stuff. So I don't know, maybe we'll get him to like 50-55 passing, which is going to be enough, and then maybe we'll get him to like 30 or 40 control at that point, just so he can benefit from being Scottish and use and planning ahead. With at least 55 passing, he would be able to get over 100 passing if he holds the ball for 1 turn. And then he also has that boost experience gain. You know, he caps out at level 60, so you probably want him gaining as much experience as possible to get as strong as quickly as possible. I could also sell him. You know, I could go down the fan favorite route and I could get 190% of his value, which I think also factors into the offers that you get from other clubs. So if his market value is higher because of the fan favorite tree, when they make you an offer, it's always above their market value. Otherwise, you just sell them on the market, right? So if I wanted to make a lot of money from him, I'd probably go fan favorite. But it really depends. If he's holding the ball a lot, I probably want to go down stamina as well. And if he's someone I'm going to use later into his career, which I probably will, I might want to go stamina. So maybe 1 node in talent, and then probably 2 in dedication, and then probably stamina at that point. So we'll do that. And you don't always have to go down the right-hand side. Generally, you can tell what a footballer's preferences are based on his stat spread. It's obvious that he has a primary focus in passing, a secondary focus in accuracy, and a tertiary focus in control. So I don't even need the right-hand side, because I know that he's going to get most of his points going to these three areas. So I just really just need to utilize it, and I can save myself some specialization as a result. Yeah, but he's also DF. You can see I've gone down this route for the same reason. He has throw-in, but throw-in's kind of a niche ability in this game. Like, you don't see it that often. With my team, you might see it a little more often because I run the flank so much. But even then, it's not a skill you'll see all that often, used all that often, so I'm not worried about it. It's also not a skill that has a challenge role. It's really just increasing the range. If you have a team that can run the flank a lot, and they get a lot of throw-ins, level 3 can be amazing because you can throw the ball directly into the box in one turn, which is huge because you're only fighting for the ball at that point. So if you have a central forward and you have a level 3 throw-in skill, you can basically attack the goal in one go, and your entire strategy can be getting throw-ins, which is a thing. But for him, I don't think it makes a lot of sense. I'm going to go dedication because he is older. He's also not my primary defender. You can see I'm playing him out there in the center of the field. So I'm not worried about that as much. And you can see Good Willie got some experience. He's on his way to getting another specialization level. When that happens, I'll get a boost to my glory. Glory is always important in this game for various reasons. Yeah, but again, just trying to explain how things are going. It can be a very complicated game. You know, at this point I understand how everything works, but just to kind of explain it can be a bit much. You can also see that draw didn't do us any favors. We did drop down 1 because Aberus FC, I think, won their match. They won it by 3, they won by quite a bit, so NN FC kind of let us down. So we're still in the race to avoid relegation. We still need to keep that in mind, even though we drew with Renton. I think as long as we get the point, we're okay. I'd also like to see how Bruggen FC did. Looks like they won their match. Okay. We're also playing Bruggen FC, so we can actually knock them down a peg right now. I think that's what we're going to focus on, you know? They're our biggest rival, really. We can also check the head-to-head, which is cool. And this is throughout your entire campaign. It's not just for like a single year or something. So I can see all of these comparisons throughout the entire campaign. So we've played before, you know, I've beaten them, we've drawn, they've beaten me. So it's basically an even aggregate, basically, based on the goal difference, which is cool. And you can also see like the tournament positions. You can do a comparison as well. That's pretty neat stuff, you know? The stats can be a very important part of the game. Yeah, but we're going to play against them. They have a pretty stable team, I think. Their goalkeeper is English, so he has aggressive physicality. But he can't use it because I don't think goalkeepers actually get to use it. They do have a forward with aggressive physicality. Giddy's going to be a problem. He also has head play, so he's going to be a big problem. Especially on corner kick situations. I'm going to need to be careful. They also have Groves, who's going to be another problem. So they have a decent spread. We do have a way to counter all of this, though. I'm not that worried about it. They're going to be on the right-hand side. He does have head play. We're going to go ahead and set up like that. His control is also pretty good. We're probably going to want Henderson in there, too. Yeah, I'm wondering if they're going to play Giddy on this side. They might. And then they have the 2 CMs, they have solid control, they have solid passing, and then they have a 5-2-3, so their defense is going to be pretty stacked as well. They're going to be playing on the left-hand side, so the right-hand side, well, the right-hand side here will be covered, but my left-hand side will be open. They're going to have 2 DF as well, so it might be a bit of a problem. They don't have playing out, and they don't have amazing control on that goalkeeper. So it might be time for Atkins to shine. He also doesn't really have great defense either. Yeah, but it might be Atkins' time to shine. They do have Giddy, though. Giddy's going to be a problem for sure. McNee. We might actually take Hansen out today. We might take Good Willie and put him on the bench. I think we're going to play Lindsay's also solid. Lindsay is a good choice for this team. I just need some way to maintain possession of the ball up here. They also have head play. They have a lot of players with head play. So they may actually have a defense against the header anyway, so I might not be able to do that. But it does feel like it's an Atkins day, right? I could also do Donahue. Donahue's not bad. It's a tough call. I do feel like shooting from the edge is the way to play this. McNee. So maybe I'll take you out because I really want to play Atkins. Atkins is the guy here. We'll play you there. We'll do him there just so we have options, you know? Options are always good. We'll do that. We'll play Atkins here instead. We're going to take someone else out as well. We'll keep Hani in. We'll take out maybe Gilmore because it's not a training day. We'll bring back in Hansen because I'd like to train Hansen, but we'll see. And we'll do McNee. And then let's see what else they got. Henderson's solid enough. Maybe I'll do McRae instead of Clark. It's a tough call. Or Kinley instead of Masters. We'll do that. And then I think we'll work like that. And that way Atkins can potentially win the ball. He can potentially pass it if I need him to pass it. And we have full of love over there to actually defend against, let's see. Yeah, we have full of love there as well. Not full of love, Allardyce. It's going to be tough though, for sure. And then we're also kind of spread out here. Again, I don't know how they're fielding their offense. These guys could be anywhere, so I'm kind of gambling here. I would like to stop the head play attempt if they have a guy in the center, but at the same time, I would like to stop a run to the side. I can't cover both, so it's going to be a tough call. It's going to be a very tough call, this game. We'll see. And we also need to win this game, to be honest. But we do need to cut off the RF, who's going to be on the right-hand side over here. If I could motivate my guys, I would. I'm not that type of coach. I didn't take that ability. I think my coach is focused more on the transfer market and loans and stuff. So of course in this game you can build different types of coaches with different types of focuses. Some coaches will be the rallying type, some not the rallying type this time around. They got the ball. What I tend to do is I tend to look at the formation like this just to get an idea of what's going on. So this is where they're playing. This is how they're playing it on the side. Boom, boom, boom. That makes sense. All right, so they have the potential to get a header into the box. It's going to be dangerous because he's right there. They're going to pass it through. They're probably going to try to cross it. Okay, we got the ball. That's great. That's actually really important. Let's see what we got. He also has slide tackle. He does have long pass, though. Let's see what we got. I'm probably going to play it here. Let's see. Because he does have slide tackle, so we're going to play Allardyce up. I do like the fact that they're blocking off the approach here. It's going to be a little harder. He also has good defense. He has solid defense by himself. But Allardyce can probably win the ball here with just a normal tackle. And then he can probably hold it, I imagine. Okay, got it. I could also run the flank and then potentially shoot because they don't have... Oh, okay. I'm thinking about this. I could potentially run the flank and get a shot off if I wanted to. He's gonna get into the box though. We're gonna do this. We're gonna set up for the next play. We're gonna hold it with Allardyce. We're gonna hope he keeps it. He does have slide tackle. Here comes Giddy. Yeah, the Englishman. Right, he's always gonna be a threat because he's a forward. It's always gonna be a problem. Should be able to win the ball though pretty easily. Let's see if we can take it. You know, I pressed him so he's weaker. I'm gonna try to slide tackle through. I barely won that, jeez. Ooh, Allardyce, is that worth it? They also have a CD. I don't know. 26, 15. They also have CMs up there. It might be worth risking the foul here. I think so. It's worth it because we need a win. He's also weak though. So, yeah, we're both weak. Should have thought about that before I held the ball. It's a tough game. At least, what's his name is out. Giddy's out of there. He's such a threat. And then I can always do Clark over there if I need to, or Kinley or something, just to block that off. Nice thing is they don't have. The nice thing is that they don't have a slide tackling threat anymore. So I can actually act accordingly. I'm gonna play him forward. We're gonna keep Good Willie in there for now because I feel like I'm gonna need him later. I may actually need him right now that I think about it, to just play past all of that. So let's do this. Let's do that. Start the second half. Yeah, they're going to make a change. I also like the fact that they changed their formation somewhat to take advantage of that. So now that I know that this guy is here, I'm going to do that just so I have defense against head play. What else I got? They're over there. He's a little stronger. I like what they did with the DF. They actually did that to block off the left-hand side. That's pretty smart. But I should be able to get it through anyway. You can also see that the DFs are going to kind of stack up right here. He's going to jump here to block that shot. He's going to stay there. So it's pretty smart. I do have an opportunity to score, though, for sure. He also has 68. No, he does have 68 defense. So a power shot might actually be a solid choice. Might even be better than Rainbow Feint. But it is 8 versus 5. So it really depends on what I want here. I have some options for sure. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do this. I'm going to play it to the... Ooh, I see. You can also see that their manager is a motivational type. I like that a lot. This was updated in Manager's Journey. So if you have Manager's Journey, you'll see this too. Managers can also use abilities. So you can see this manager is a motivational type. At halftime, he kind of gave the boys a pep talk and said, get it together. So everybody's motivated now. That just made this a lot harder. That's actually pretty neat, though. I like it. So everybody's motivated, and of course, forward they're going to be motivated for an additional turn. So this just became much harder. That's actually a good play. But I'm going to try to play it into the box with Good Willie, and he's going to take the shot. You know, he's an AM, so he's going to have a better opportunity to pass it into the box. I might have to wait a single turn because everybody's motivated. I think it's going to run out right now, though. Yeah, that's aggressive tackle is insane. And he has really good control. Yeah, that's a tough one. Yeah, that was the play. They absolutely needed that play. I'm trying to see what I can do here. Ooh, I also lost the LD, so I can no longer defend against that cannon shot. Yeah, so this is a tough one for sure. You know, it's gonna be really tough. Actually, don't know if I can win the ball. Like maybe, but his defense is also pretty good. It's a tough one because he's going to be able to pass it directly and shoot. Yeah, I don't know. I think my best play is to move him over here. At least that way they're forced to pass it through something, I guess. But even then, it's not a whole lot I can do. Maybe I'll move you there. It's just tough because he's here. Yep, he's gonna get into the box. Yeah, he's gonna pass it or shoot. I'd imagine he's gonna pass it, right? I needed that because passing's not great. Yeah, that was a tough play for sure. And his defense is just so good. It's just really tough. Okay, you're in the box though. Yeah, his defense is amazing. Let me get off of the wing here. 24 for a forward. At least they're no longer motivated. Jeez. Yeah, let me get out off of here. Maybe I'll go over here. He also has decent defense. He'll be able to attack. The question is, do I take this risk? You know, if I go here, he's less likely to win the ball. But and I don't have to deal with him. But if they win the ball, they can attack immediately. Versus him winning the ball, and then I can potentially get it back. So I'm trying to win, so I'm gonna take that risk. It is a risk. It's 24 versus 46. I can live with that. I can absolutely live with that. That's perfect. That's a risk I'm willing to take there. Calculated risk is what they call it. We're gonna get Hansen back in. And it's an indirect free kick, which is great because that means they can't change their formation. You know, they can substitute players and stuff, which it looks like that's what they did a while ago. They took out 2 players here at the front because of fatigue issues. And they also made a change to their formation, but it's not going to take because indirect free kicks are too fast, which is also why I wanted to keep it on this side of the field. Once it goes onto the opponent's side of the field, it becomes a direct free kick. Then they can start moving their formation around and stuff, making walls and whatnot. But when it's indirect, I can't do any of that. So, you know, I can still make the play. I can go to Hans, I can go to Good Willie, I can go into the box. He's an AM, so he's going to be reduced by a lot. It's going to be minus 60% because it's an AM pass, and it's going to be minus 50% because it's an adjacent towel. So it's going to bring him down from 58 to 12. And if I can get it to him, he has a good opportunity to score. We got it to him. And now the question becomes, do I want to go for a high chance precision shot or a lower chance power shot? Because if I'm looking at their defense, like, I don't know if I can actually win the ball again on a, what do you call it? On a corner kick situation. But a corner kick situation would give me a chance to head the ball, you know, to fight for the ball in the air. I do have Hani over here waiting in the wings for a sub. So I feel like even though a precision shot's the better call in terms of accuracy, you know, I feel like it's better to go for the power shot. Again, you know, his floor is going to be 1, my floor is going to be 20% of 71. So it's going to be a much higher floor than his. So even if we both roll as low as possible, I'm going to win out. 71 versus 44 is tempting, though. Like, this feels like the obvious play as well. It's a tough one. Like, I know that I can roll poorly. I can roll below his 44. But 44 is so low. I'm going precision. Oh, got it. Okay. Yeah. Just had to do it, right? I mean, ultimately, it kind of worked out to be the same. 44 is just so much lower. It felt like a no-brainer option in that sense. All right, we got a goal. Now we're going to make some changes here. We're looking for the win. We're going to keep Hammerich there. I think this is okay. We're also going to mix it up a little bit. We're going to take him out. We're going to start playing for defense now. We're going to go ahead and put Clark in there. We're going to get Hansen there is okay. It doesn't really matter. Like, maybe we'll play Scarf just to have him there. I don't think it's going to make a huge difference. But we're going to do this to kind of make it harder to play the ball forward. A little harder. It's not a whole lot harder, but much harder, rather. Just to kind of force him to pass through multiple players. Because I think he's going to try to pass down there. That just makes sense. But he does have 60. I would like him to deal with 2 players at once, but I don't know if it can do that. Because he's not playing it straight down here. So maybe we'll do that and make it a little harder. Why not? Now let's see if we can win the ball and win the game right here, because that'd be game. Ooh, it is a tough one though, huh? Yeah, we'll do that. We're kind of just crossing our fingers now. Yeah, he just played it over there. I should have put him over there. In fact, he would have been perfect there. He's going to get a shot on goal. Ooh, good save. Good stop. That's crucial. And we have the potential to score again, actually. Maybe not like that. I mean, we could score again. I don't know. We'd have to win both of these on the first try. No, okay. It was worth a try. I could have gotten it over there and nutmegged. And now we're just gonna hold. We're just gonna hold here. We're not gonna take any risk. And we got the win. A boringly effective win, but it wasn't easy to get, huh? Yeah, that chance in the box was our. It could have been one of two chances. If he had saved that ball, that would have been our only chance. If it had been a power shot and he had knocked it out of bounds, we could have easily gotten another two or three chances. So, it depends. Yeah, but I really like that motivational speech from the opposing manager. That definitely changed the way the match flow was going. Because we would have gotten an immediate shot on goal on the next turn. So that's actually a really good call. Let's see, we can prioritize different players from the youth academy. Rivalry among youth. These are all managerial abilities. I don't really care about any of them because again, I'm playing for the transfer market, so everything I have is gonna be like based on loans and better deals and better listings and stuff like that. I'm not really focused on the youth academy. However, goalkeepers are very difficult to come by. They're probably the hardest class to find and train in this game. So it makes sense to play for goalkeepers, to invest in the youth academy enough to the point where I can actually ask for a goalkeeper, and then maybe I'll get a solid young goalkeeper, and then I'm set for a long time. Goalkeepers are probably the hardest class to deal with in this game, because they only train by being active. But if your goalkeeper is active, your defense isn't playing well. So it's like, it's really, really hard to get them up to speed. Like, he didn't save the ball at all. He may have saved it, well, he didn't save the ball at all, no, because Hammerich did intercept it. So he only gets 5. You only get 5 specialization points for showing up. So it takes roughly, let me do the math. It takes roughly 12, I think, is the number. 60. Like about 14 matches, like 13 or 14 matches before your amateur goalkeeper becomes a universal goalkeeper. It takes a long time. So, yeah, it's a really tough position to train. Generally, you're better off buying that or building it up in the youth academy. Because if you don't have a goalkeeper in the goal, yeah, good luck. Anyway, 25. We're further away from the relegation zone. It doesn't matter that we only won by 1 point because they were our biggest rival. You know, they were the guys that were literally on the cusp of passing us. So we actually pushed them down, and we also pushed ourselves up. So we have a bit more leeway from the bottom of the table, which is important because this is the first year that we're in the second league. Generally, when you jump up to a league, if you haven't really been building for it beforehand, you're going to be the underdog. If you look at the table, you can see I'm one of the weaker teams. I'm really in the bottom 4 in terms of team strength, you know? So I should really be down here. So it's really good that I'm here already. You know, it gives me some breathing room to avoid relegation to the third league, which means that I get the rewards from being in the second league. I get more experience, I get more money, I get more glory, I get better transfer offers and stuff like that. And then if you look at my coaching goal, it's also really important because I'm supposed to promote in 4 years. This is my first year. You can check the career to see how I've been doing. First year in the second league. This is the job. These are the demands. This is how management feels so well. And usually management's pretty indifferent unless you've started failing or you've started succeeding. Like if I was in the top 6 right now, he would be really happy. If I was in the relegation zone, he would be pretty mad. I don't think he'd be all the way down to the penalty zone until I really hit the unacceptable performance. And then also I performed successfully in the cup, so it would push it up a little bit. But he would be somewhere here for sure. You know, between under 70 for sure. Yeah, so it's still early. I still have 3 more seasons after this. I also don't have any obligations in terms of the cup. So I don't really have to worry about that either. And then you can check out stats if you care about stats. The game has all the stats you could want. It has all the charts and all the different things. I look at it occasionally. I tend to look at it day to day as opposed to historically, personally. You can see your achievements, and the task history is cool because you also see how much reputation you've earned. And then you can see that new goal that's going to be unique to this game. Where basically if you want to stick with a single club, which is what a lot of people like to do, you'll be able to you'll be able to get specific, unique goals that allow you to build up that club, where basically it tells you to do certain things. It says gain a young promising player who's still in his prime, right? Build up the scouting infrastructure, build up the training grounds, do this and do that, and then you'll get job points based on that. So that stuff is pretty cool. And then obviously action zones and all that jazz and whatnot. So it's all as you'd expect. All your various players. I think this is for every footballer throughout your entire career. Creo team, what's the word? Correct me if I'm wrong, but it feels like this is for every player throughout your entire career. Yeah, it says it even. You don't even have to correct me. Everyone who played under my control. And then retired players. This is really cool. Because generally these players just vanish, so it's cool to have this information. I can see this guy played in 86 matches and he had this impact and he retired at this age and whatnot. And then you have continues to play. And then it can also be based on clubs. I've been focused on just Nairn FC, but you can also coach different clubs and you can get information for all of that. So it's neat, and you can actually look at the players and stuff. It's pretty cool. Cool stuff. Let's do one more game, then I have to run. Let's see. We'll do one more. So I think if I look at the calendar, I only have a couple of games left, 4 games. So the entire point now is going to be avoiding relegation. I want to be around 8th or 9th place for the rest of the season. I don't care about gaining glory by being top 6. I know I'm not going to get promoted. I just want to avoid relegation right now because I think the team has a lot of potential. It has a lot of promise. Certain guys are getting older, but a lot of guys are young and have really good potential. So I really just need to get them started. But it's a solid enough team. It also has a very good strategy in terms of possession. I feel like the front-facing defense is working instead of having like a lot of players at the back, which is what you'd normally do. I feel like it's been flexible enough to allow me to play something like this, where occasionally I'll have a wing back or something. So it's been working out, But let's get one more game in. They're doing a 4-3-3, which is pretty balanced, I'd say. Their defense is going to be a little weaker, but they have more of a presence in the midfield. I also can't see this guy's information, so I know he's at least a 3-star player, because my scouts can only see up to 2 stars. So he's at least a 3-star player. They also have a few 2-star players, so they're probably near the bottom. Yeah. They're more of a high-level 3rd league team, low-level 2nd league team. So they're about our strength. And we can even compare strengths. Let's see. They're stronger, but we're pretty even in practice. So let's see what they got. They don't have anybody on the wing, so I don't need to worry about that. I do need to worry about their wing midfielder, though, because they'll just run the flank on me. So I probably need to cut that off. I'm going to play my actual wing midfielder so I can press for free, which is going to be really important. They also have really good forwards as well in terms of accuracy, so that's going to be a problem. They also have long pass, so I'm gonna have to avoid playing a player in the box. Long pass is pretty popular, but it's really easy to bypass. Really easy to counter, rather. Just set up an offside trap and just no longer an issue. But still dangerous for sure. We're gonna start with the ball. They're gonna have a fullback on the right hand side, so that's gonna be an issue. We might be able to play for the head play early because they don't really have the goalkeeper for it. So we might go for that. His defense also isn't that great, if I'm being honest. So I have some options there. Let's see how I want to play it, though. I might do McNee. McNee's probably the guy to use. Be a little more aggressive. I'm going to go for Hawni here. We're going to do that. Also going to do, let's see, I want some more defense up here. Gilmore is over there. Battles is over there. I'd also like to train up these guys if I can. We're going to keep Allardyce in for now. Might actually take him out for full of love, if I'm being honest. I'm trying to see what the best play is going to be. If I play him out there, he'll get the ball instead. They do have that guy there. His passing's not amazing either. but it's good enough. I don't know if I want to play you here. He does have good defense. That is his one saving grace. So if I wanted to play something like that and keep the defense high, then maybe. I'm also not sure where this CD is gonna be. If the CD is right here, I probably can't get the head play off, so I'm gonna play him here instead. In which case, Kelman might be the better choice, even though he had better accuracy. So again, I don't know what they're fielding. I'm only planning for it, and I'm trying to set up potential avenues of attack, and then I'll go from there. And then, of course, we're playing it up front, so we have a lot of forward-facing players here. Let's see who else I could do. Hansen might be the better call, because Hansen does have better mobility than him. Although he can play the ball into the box. But then Hansen's also my own guy, so I might want to train him. Yeah. I think I've earned enough glory from him as well. To kind of profit from the transaction. That's also good. But I think this is what we'll do. I think we'll be okay like this. I'd love to get Gilmore some more specialization, so I might actually put him in as well. Yeah, so let's do Gilmore and then Scarf, and we'll try to play them. It might not work out, but we'll see. Now let's get this last game in, and then I'm gonna run. Yeah, I have to do my Saturday stuff as well. It's also nice outside. I think we're gonna have a heat wave as well. Not that it bothers me based on where I grew up, but it is gonna be hotter than normal, which means it's gonna be nice outside, or at least nice enough. We're going to take a look at what they're fielding. Of course, you know, they have head play at the front. Everybody has head play, so their biggest threats are going to be the wingers, because the wingers are going to be able to get the ball into the box pretty easily. So I'm going to want to want to prevent them from doing that. Again, they do have the CM over here, who also has solid defense. He's really good. This is the guy who has this is a 3-star player, the guy I couldn't see when I was checking before the game started. I knew he was 3-star because I couldn't see him. He's also really good. His defense is a huge problem, actually. Like, looking at it right now, his defense is a massive problem, because I'm not going to be able to pass the ball through. I also needed someone to play on the wing. So let's see how I'm going to play this, because there are different things I can do here. I think I'm just going to pass it forward to McNee. McNee's not going to be able to run the flank because of that CD, but I'm going to play it to Donahue. Donahue has a decent chance to score. And Donahue, yeah, it's a little too far. It's minus 50%, minus 35. Donahue's going to take the shot, though, at least. I think it's worth taking the shot with him. I could also play him to the flank, but I'd rather take the shot. Yeah, it's not a great shot because 63. Kind of a Hail Mary shot is what we call it. He's going to go for the long pass, which is smart. Yeah, he's going to shoot from the side, which is also smart. Ooh, good save. Yeah, solid. I'm not as worried about the shot on goal because I do have someone who can potentially stop it. I'm more worried about the head play. Head play is going to be the big issue. I'm not sure if I can actually stop that. But we're going to take him out of position. This is what you normally do. You move one player down here, and you put the head play guy up here. And then he's just level 1, so it's not as bad. I'm hoping that he'll actually win the ball, and then it will go to him to shoot. And then if that happens, I'll have an opportunity. But we'll see, though. Let's see what we got. And then we need to be able to play the ball forward. I'm just counting the squares. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so it will actually be okay. And then if I wanted to... probably here. Let's see what happens. Oh, okay, that was actually a good save. I was hoping he would actually stop it. He probably has a really good control. Yeah. But we do have Hammer Rich over here who can win the ball with fly tackle. Or try to, I guess. That's no good. He's motivated. So he's going to go again, and he's going to get a bonus because he's motivated. That's what happens. Additional potential. So I get another chance. And, I'm wondering now. Everybody has solid defense here. He has fly tackle, but he's motivated, so I might actually just run with the ball. When they're motivated, skills don't work. So he's not going to be able to win it with slide tackle. He's going to have to do a normal tackle. Is he still motivated? He's still motivated, so he gets a boosted slide tackle again if I want it. I want it, so I'm going to take it. That gives me a free turn. I'm going to get it to, let's see who's going to get the ball here. Who's the play? That's a good question. Let's see. I could pass it to you. His shot's not going to be great, though. He might be the guy, honestly. I could do that, but he's a what do you call it? He is a CD. I could also go for a for a cross. Just trying to think about the best option here. He also has slide tackle. Thinking about it. Get him into the box at 10 control. Yeah, I'm trying to think of the best play here. It's tough. What is the best play I could make? Yeah, slide tackle. Slide tackle's not even that bad, honestly. I'm gonna take a low chance shot if I use him. I could go for a cross. I could get lucky here. I mean, 25 versus whatever the cross potential is gonna be. No. He got it. Okay, sweeper got it. Yep. He's probably gonna lob it, I imagine. Oh, he's gonna cross it. Okay. Ooh, good goal. Yeah, he got it through. That's solid. I was hoping my guy would stop it, but his cross was too good. Yeah, that's always gonna be an issue for sure. We can bring it back. I could probably play it on this wing instead. So I have some options, of course. You know, now that I know what they're fielding. Of course, they're gonna be a pain to deal with. Let's see what we've got. He does have long pass, so if I wanted to long pass it, I could. Long pass it and then cross it there. So we'll see. He's also getting tired, though, which is a problem. So I know McNee's not going to be the guy. Let's see, what do we got? I do have some options, though. Let's take McNee, let's do him, let's do that. Might take him out for now. Trying to think of the best play here. Do I play Gilmore? It's kind of early, isn't it? Trying to think. It is kind of early. Could do McNee. I also want some defense, though, for sure. I do want some defense. I also want to keep Hansen and these guys in. Let's do Kinley. I think it might be time to go further into defense, and we'll go for that. Yeah, let's do that. And the idea is to force him to pass it here and potentially get the ball, although he has 122, so good luck. Let me think. I'll probably put him there if I'm going to long pass it later. Let's see what we got. We can score, for sure. Just thinking about it. It's their turn. We also blocked that off. Yeah, he's just going to do that instead because he can't run the flank, of course. They have really good defense, though. I might try to win the ball again. It's a tough one. I got it somehow. Don't know how we got it. He's tired, though. He can't keep it. And now this is kind of a shambles because everybody has slide tackle. My best play is to move it up here, for sure. At least get it to their side of the field. And he'll hold it. I mean, slide tackle might be... He has 11, though, versus 7. Yeah, that's the thing. It's never guaranteed. And now we can actually get the cross off. So we have a decent opportunity. He also has solid passing, which is why I like him. He's a good wing forward. He can't stop it. That's a very good opportunity. 32 versus 5 is very easy. 81 versus 38 is great. So he has an opportunity to score here. Let's see if we can get it. There we go. Very good. That's very close. 23 versus 27 is not great. 17 is not great. He's also tired, so now I need to get him out of there. You know, even if it's a risk of losing him or giving up a goal, I have to put him down. I have to get him out of there. You can't keep playing a guy like that when he's that tired. It's just not worth the risk. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. I think I'm gonna play you back there. I'm gonna take you out and put who? I'm gonna put maybe you in. Just because I get experience every time he plays, I get glory every time he actually plays in a match. So we'll do that. We do have potential to score again, I think. Just got to see if we can play it properly. We're also going to play Gilmore. Gilmore's a solid choice now. He's also 11. He has 11 potential, so that's a good defense against him. He's from Canada. That's interesting. What's a Canadian doing in the European League? Well, it's Scotland. I get it. Scotland's not all that great. Yeah, so we tied it up. I had to take out Hamerick, even if he's the better defender, because if he gets tackled and he has the ball and he gets fouled, he's getting injured. And he's also old, so he's going to get injured for a long time. So I'd rather give up a potential goal as opposed to lose a player. So you have to think about it. You know, it's like, yeah, they might score, but I can't risk losing him. And they didn't score. That's great. He's a forward, though. They're just going to take the ball. Yeah, that's not great. Ooh, everybody has to press. I hate that. Gotta press. Because his control's so high. In these situations, you need to press, right? You never really want to just tackle outright. You want to reduce his control, and then you want to actually fight for the ball, right? He is motivated, though, so that's not great. He has okay control, but he might lose the ball. Because generally, when they have high control like that, and the keeper tackles, more often than not, the keeper will foul, and then that's a penalty. You know. So even if you have to use all your actions to prevent possession of the ball, you do it in those situations. And I also like the fact that the AI understands that. So if the AI is in a similar position, they'll absolutely press with defenders to make sure that the goalkeeper has a better chance. Because the penalty is the easiest shot to take in the game. It doesn't matter how bad your forward is or how strong the other team is. Everybody has the same chance on penalties. Yeah, I think that's it for now. I mean, yeah, we drew. That's fine. I might do another one tomorrow. We'll see. You know, again, I only beta test this game on the weekend just for time reasons. You know, I don't have that much time. Or at least I can't dedicate that much time to it, so I like to get as much in as possible. I'm just going to take a look at the table and see how things look. See how things are going here. Yeah, but if you're interested in this, in the second game, you can check Discord, you can check Reddit, you can check, Steam. Pretty much all the usual suspects. Creo team's pretty active everywhere. You know, they're not like a dev where it's like only join me in one place. They're actually pretty active. And they tend to respond and things like that. I know Cause responds to a lot of different things. So if you have like ideas or you have questions, specific questions, you can comment, you can send them to Creo team, you can ask wherever, and someone will respond to you at some point. Yeah, I'm gonna run. I have stuff I need to do. Let me just check the table here. That's good. 8th place is actually perfect. If I can stay in 8th place for the rest of the season, that's fine. And then I can just train up my young players, you know? Because really, I just need to start training for the future. These guys are getting older. Definitely, these guys have a lot of potential. And I did do a lot of scouting and working on the transfer market through the last few seasons, so I'd like to see that actually pay off, if at all possible. I'm actually going to take a look at that real fast, if I can remember where it is. Yeah, maybe later. I gotta run now.